Okay, so you know that you need an email list, but how do you actually get people onto your email list? That's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brayden McKee, and I teach content marketing strategy to small business owners, service providers, and creators that want to monetize their platforms. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and stick around to learn all things content marketing strategy. So last week we talked about the email marketing basics, what you need to know about using email marketing in your business as a creator, as a service provider. And I told you that we were going to go over email newsletter design this week, but then I was thinking to myself as I was planning for that video, before you can send an email out to somebody, you need to have people on your email list. So let's talk about what that looks like and how you are going to grow your email list so you actually have people to send emails to in the first place. So don't worry, next week we are going to talk about email newsletter design. I just wanted to kind of put things a little bit more in order as we talk about email marketing and go through this email marketing series. Okay, so when we're talking about growing your email list, there's a couple of different ways that you can grow your email list. And there's one way that's my favorite. We're gonna talk about that very last because I'm gonna go really into depth in the strategies of how to do that. But let's talk about some of the other ways that you can grow your email list, whether you are an online business or you are an in-person business. So the very first thing is that you can, let's say you own a storefront, maybe it's a boutique, a shop, maybe a coffee shop, and you have customers that come in, and when they are checking out, you ask them for their email list or maybe even their phone number if you're doing text campaigns. But again, we're focusing on email here, but you can collect it on a sheet of paper. Now, this is a manual process that honestly is not going to, it works to collect the email addresses if people are willing to write their email down, but people are moving quickly. And also this does add time for you because now you have to manually go and enter all of these people into your email service provider online at another time. And so we know that this is probably the slowest way, but it is an effective strategy if you are, let's say you're doing a pop-up event and you are doing that to, sell products at an event, at a market, right? And you could be collecting email addresses on a sheet, at the pop-up event. Now, the next strategy we're going to talk about is going to be a more digital variation of this, but this is one way that you can do it. You can offer, this is a loyalty rewards program. You could do this for just staying up to updates or letting them know when you're going to be releasing new products. Maybe you have a product or an item in your shop or your store that sells out frequently and people want to stay up to date on when that product is going to be back. Or maybe you have like seasonal drinks if you're a coffee shop, or seasonal menu items. This could be a great way just to say, hey, we update you on our products, our sales, and the loyalty rewards program when you write your email and name down on this list. Again, this is manual, so you're going to have to go and make sure to input this information into your email service provider at another point in time, and hope that you don't forget and hope that it's not, too unorganized for you. But if you want something that's a little bit more digital and more automated, let's talk about this next strategy. The online version of this is to have some kind of digital form that collects email addresses for you. Now let's go to the pop-up or like the coffee shop, in-person boutique example. In this example, you are likely collecting payment with a digital, point of sale system. If you're not, again, I would highly recommend that you do. But if you are doing this with a point of sale system, you can usually integrate a form that asks them for their email and or phone number for a loyalty program. But you could also have another, maybe you have an iPad and you could have a form, a digital form popped up on the screen that's available at checkout for people to sign into to receive updates and maybe a percentage off their next order. Maybe, they're signing up for a loyalty program. There we go. and you are saying, hey, after, your 5th purchase, 10th purchase, here's what you're gonna get if you sign up for this list and sign up for the loyalty program. Now you can also email them because you have their information. So this is nice because most of the time, if you set up a form, this form is going to take their information and it's gonna automatically port it over to your email service provider. So as you collect their information here and it reroutes the information to your email platform, now you have a growing list of subscribers and their name and email address that is automatically put into your email service provider platform. Again, if you want to know which one to choose, I use Flowdesk. You can get 50% off your first year with my link down in the description. But that way it's done automatically for you. You don't have to worry about going and moving things over to that email service provider at a later point in time, or forgetting about it potentially. And then when you go to send an email, the people who signed up for it are not receiving it because you forgot to put them in or whatever the case might be. I know you're busy, so having an online or a digital form is a great way for you to collect that information. Okay, so the next strategy is to have a pop-up form on your website. This is something you've probably seen before, whether you've noticed it or not, and that is when you go to somebody's website, they have a little box pop up that will say, if it's a retail shop, get 5% or 10% off your next order, or get free shipping, or it'll say something like stay in the know, sign up for our newsletter. So essentially you're giving anybody that's coming to your website an option to hear directly from you in email by signing up with that pop-up box. Now, this is a strategy that I believe is somewhat outdated, and while some people do use this strategy and it still works well for them, I think you need to be able to give somebody something in exchange for their email address. Now, with a retail shop, when you're offering a discount code or free shipping, that is likely to do the trick because everybody loves free shipping. But let's say you're a service provider business, or you're a creator, a blogger, maybe you're a YouTuber, and you're trying to monetize, and your goal is that you're going to be selling products, maybe courses, education, right? What do you do then? Well, in my opinion, the next best strategy, and the strategy that works for me the best personally, and I know other people in the marketing space, is to offer a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? Okay, a lead magnet is also known as a freebie. Some people call it an opt-in, but basically it's you providing something to somebody in exchange for their information. Now with the retail shop example, I said you can give them a discount code or free shipping. Now in a sense, that's a lead magnet, but traditionally I would say a lead magnet is really for, service providers and creators that are putting content out there, and they're now trying to take it a step further with their audience and get them onto their email list by providing them with a guide, maybe a training, maybe it's like an ebook of some sort. A lot of times it's like an educational resource, but there's so many different options of types of lead magnets. But what this does is you're exchanging value here. So somebody is saying, it is worth it for me to give you my email address because I'm going to receive your ebook. That is an exchange of value. And it doesn't feel like they're so much giving to you with nothing in return, because they are in fact receiving something valuable on the other end of it. So this is where coming up with something or multiple items that you can promote, that you're not selling them, you're not getting paid for them, but you are receiving people's email addresses in exchange and growing your email list. This is a very effective strategy today to help grow your email list. So what do you do with a lead magnet? How do you get the people's information? Well, remember that digital form we talked about? It's pretty much the same thing. You're going to use your email service provider to create a landing page or some kind of form where they can opt in. And then you're going to create a workflow to then send them the freebie or the lead magnet once you get their information through that form. So this is a bit technical, and we can talk about this later on, but essentially you're going to create an automation that's going to automatically send them that lead magnet back to them once you get their information, once that form is filled out. That way, you're not having to think about sending them something. This is where it gets really difficult if you don't have an email service provider, you don't have an email platform that you're using, because now not only are you having to import their information into your email list, whether it's a spreadsheet or something, but now you also have to remember to send them the lead magnet in a timely fashion. Now, people want things fast these days, even if it's something free. So if you are taking a while to send out this lead magnet, this is something where you could potentially be losing visibility, you could be losing eyes, because people are going to forget, or they are going to be disappointed that they're not receiving it quickly. So this is something where it can be a little bit detrimental if you don't have the automation and you don't have the email service provider system set up to be doing this work for you. Also, you're just adding more onto your plate rather than being able to grow your email list while you're doing something else in the background, or you're with customers or with clients or doing service work. Like, you could be doing something else and the email automation is going to work for you. So you could be growing your email list while you're literally working on or in your business in another way. So what are the best kinds of lead magnets? Well, you're going to have to really figure this out with your audience and what is going to work. You might have to test and experiment, but you should think about it in terms of like, what is it that they want to know? What is it that they want to learn? And essentially, you want to give them some valuable information. This isn't something they should just be able to Google. You want to be going a little bit more in depth here into whatever your area of expertise is. Now, the biggest thing with a lead magnet is that you should be able to go and kind of go in depth enough, but then get to the point where there is a gap between what they're learning and what they need to know to fully implement it from you. There should be a next step where to become more advanced or to really, implement this, like they need your help, because really it's not just about getting their email. Like, you want to create a lead magnet that's going to bring people that could potentially be your customers or your clients as a service provider. So if they need to implement it and they need a certain program, or they would need to hire you, or just like the how to, it's not that you're intentionally leaving things out. It's that you're hitting like the surface, like bottom layer, or, first step in a multi-step thing. And you can't give them like your whole training program. You can't give them your whole service for free, right? But you can give them that first step that takes them and solves the first layer of the problem. And then if they want to go further, that's when it would come, it would come in that you would be the one, you would be the solution ideally for whatever that next stage is. I hope that makes sense. It is a little bit like, you have to come at it with the right approach, right? Because it's not like you're intentionally withholding information, but you can't give them your whole service or product for free, so you want it to be valuable, but really take them through like the first layer. And if they want to go further, well, you're going to be nurturing them, and potentially they could be buying from you or hiring you in the future coming off of that lead magnet. So when you're thinking about your lead magnet, the format type is what really holds people back. But I think what I just talked about with like the context of what's within the lead magnet itself is really what should be focused on, because you want to be able to hit enough value for them to take action and to be able to meet at least a small portion of their goal where it's valuable enough that it's not just something they could have Googled. But the format of it could be a lot of different things. If you're coming at it and it's going to be, let's say, a mini training or educational resource, this could be put into an ebook, a PDF guide, maybe it's a checklist or a template. You could even do different forms. Maybe it's a mini video course, or maybe it's a private podcast where they have to sign up to receive that podcast because it's going to be a direct RSS feed, and you're going to give them the instructions. There are so many different formats, honestly, that it really is going to depend on what you're comfortable putting out there, but also what your ideal clients and customers are going to be willing to receive. If you're targeting busy moms and you want to give them like a 20-page ebook or maybe even like a 5-part video course, that might not be as appealing as a private podcast that they can listen to in 15-minute increments when they're driving to carpool or they are, on their way to the kids' soccer practice or something. Think about what is going to be most applicable to your ideal client and customer that you're targeting. And also, you could play around with formats. You could test different formats. So you could offer an ebook version and a private podcast version, promote both, and then maybe depending on what kind of feedback and how many people sign up, you've received enough feedback to know which one is the better choice for your audience. And then maybe you just end up promoting one out of the two options. Now, some other ways that you can grow your email list is to promote this lead magnet, but think about the different places that you can promote it. So you can promote it if you have a community Facebook group or a VIP or client Facebook group. You could promote it when people join your group, and you can ask a question in the membership questions if they want to get it to leave their email. Now, you might have to manually collect those specific email addresses unless you have a tool. But this is one way that I have very successfully grown my email list. When I was in real estate, I grew my email list by over 1,000 local subscribers using Facebook groups that I was running and offering a local PDF guide about local events and things happening in the area for the specific niches. And that over a couple year period grew my email list by over 1,000 members, which is huge. So if you have a Facebook group, that would be a great way to get email addresses and to promote your freebie when people are joining the group. When you are in the stage, when you are really trying to grow your audience and your sales, I would be promoting your email lead magnet almost as often or the same amount as you're promoting your product or service. And this is why. When you are trying to increase sales, a lot of times you're using social media, talking about your product or your service, right? And you're hoping that social media audience is going to convert. Now, there's two problems with this, is that social media, only a certain number of people are seeing your content at any given time. Right now, I know that your reach on Instagram is probably drastically reduced, even if you have a good sized following. And I don't know if this is going to change. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping this is temporary. But if you are relying on social media and only 5 to 10% of your audience maybe are even seeing your posts and your content, that's a good portion of people that don't even know or aren't being consistently reminded about your products, your services, and how they can purchase from you. Now, with your email lead magnet, even if only 5 to 10% at a time are seeing you talk about that, you have more chances to continue to grow that. And then through email, you can remind people about your product and service where it's going directly into their inbox. Now, again, I talked about last week how people may not even be opening every single email from you, but when some kind of communication is going directly into their inbox, and especially with the amount of times a day people check their email inbox, you are much more likely to stay top of mind and convert from that email or those emails and the sequences you set up versus on social media alone. Now, together, I think it's a powerhouse because you get the people who are seeing your content on social media and hopefully are looking for your product or service because they're following you, and you're getting the people who are on your email list and you've got them directly in their inbox where they are receiving communication directly from you and they can make a purchase decision when they're ready. So you're not relying on chance of them seeing it because they've opted into your emails and you're communicating and you're directly in their inbox consistently over time, building the relationship and then converting the sale. So when I am in an audience building phase, which right now I am, because if you don't know, I transitioned out of real estate full-time at the very end of 2023. And I said, okay, I'm ready to leave real estate and I'm gonna go into content marketing. So I have this real estate audience, which a lot of them is local, and I don't need a bunch of local people looking to work with a local real estate agent because I'm not trying to book real estate clients. I am now trying to book content marketing clients and make sales on my digital products. So I'm in an audience building phase. So that means that I need to build my email list because I know that most of my conversion is happening with my clients and customers through email. So I need to be promoting my email lead magnet just as much as I'm promoting my products and services right now because I don't have the audience numbers I need to for the sales that I want. So if I know the conversion is most likely to happen from email, I need to be promoting my email lead magnet as much as I'm promoting my products or services. So I'm gonna prioritize that. And then once I have them on my email, I will promote my products and services over time on my email communication versus only on social media. Any kind of platform that you're on or any communication you're having with potential clients and customers is an opportunity for you to promote your lead magnet and grow your email list. So we don't own any of the platforms that we have, unfortunately. I don't own my YouTube channel. YouTube could take it down. I don't own my Instagram account or my TikTok account or even my Facebook group. At any point in time, those platforms could shut me down, which means that when I'm in communication with my audience on these platforms, I want to continue to offer them lead magnets. That way, if anything were to happen, I don't have, I'm not at a loss. I don't lose my entire audience all in one swoop because the internet goes down or the platform goes down or the platform closes my account or something, right? Or I get hacked. There's so many things that could happen. While growing your social media and audiences on all these different marketing platforms is good, you want to back it up and reinforce your audience by having a direct way to communicate them, which is your email list, because nobody can take your email list away from you. You own that email list and you can communicate directly with your audience if anything were to happen. And that's why consistently working on growing your email list, consistently trying out lead magnets and offers to get people onto your list and promoting it on every single platform that you're on is essential if you ever want to make money in your business or if you want to make more money in your business. I didn't mention this last week, but email marketing has a $42 to $44 ROI, meaning every $1 you spend on email marketing is supposed to return $42 to $44 in return. And that is the biggest return on investment when you compare all of the platforms. So email marketing is definitely a focus. And while I don't only do email marketing, I'm going to focus on email marketing and audience growth on YouTube and Instagram and my Facebook group in order to just have the full stack and continue to promote not only the products and services, but the email list, where the email list is also going to get continued product and service promotion. Growing your email list does take time, but every once in a while, you get a lead magnet that just hits with your audience at the right time and they go crazy for it. So if that doesn't happen for you, don't be worried, because it's usually, it usually does take time, especially if you are just starting to get your email list to grow. But it is something that you should continue to prioritize. Again, once a week, if you're on social media, is a great cadence because it's something that you can easily remember. And if you're putting together a content plan, whatever day of the week that is, you can promote your email list and continue to offer your lead magnets on that specific day. And it's going to become a part of your habit and your routine when it comes to content creation. I really hope this was helpful for you guys as we continue to go through this email marketing series. I know that there's probably gonna be more questions that come up. And so I would love to know if you currently have a lead magnet that you are offering your audience in order to grow your email list. Comment below and let me know. I would love to hear if you feel like you need help in this area. A couple months ago, I had done a training on lead magnets, growing your email list, and welcome sequences. So I am working on getting that replay together as a low price offering for you guys if you want to learn a little bit more in depth on this. What that series included was a training on growing your email list and really kind of more into depth on why you'd want to, what kind of lead magnet you might want to create with examples and kind of going through what your lead magnet should consist of, a lead magnet template, and then also a welcome series of emails for you after somebody signs up for your lead magnet. So if you are interested in that, let me know in the comments. I'm going to try to release that by next week's video when we're talking about email newsletter design and templates and things like that. But that was a one-time thing for my students that were in a certain program, but I want to repurpose it and just make it really low cost and beginner friendly because it is really for beginners in email marketing. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. I don't have an idea on price yet, but it'll be under $20. So just putting that out there. So let me know. Next week, we are going to talk about email newsletter design. I'm going to take you through some templates. I'm kind of preparing some things to show you. And again, sorry for the mix up. I just figured, you know what? Let's talk about growing your email list first. So you guys can start working on that if you don't have an email list. And then once you have an email list going, we can talk about what should you send them? How should you do newsletters, right? Okay, so thank you so much for being here. If you haven't watched the crash course for beginners on email marketing, go ahead and watch the video from last week. That's going to be really helpful for you. And if you haven't already and you want to continue to learn about content marketing strategy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And I will see you guys on the next video.